Hello learners, welcome back to the course on learning and development in organization. Today we start with a new module which looks into learning and development as the key to peak performance. So I will try to underscore the relevance and the importance of learning and development in this particular lecture, where we'll look into appreciating the importance of L&D as a vertical and as a discipline altogether. I'm Dr. Cyril Issac. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Business, Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. Now, when you talk about learning and development specifically, we have to start understanding the relevance and the importance of learning and development, and that's where this particular session will act as a background for appreciating the importance. Let's start with today's theme. I'm always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it. This inquisitiveness, this quest for gaining more knowledge or to do better will actually be the kingpin factor for any learning and development initiative. Why do learning and development matter? Let's start with that. When you look into the changing world, ever-changing world, we always see there are technological advancements, globalization has come into picture, innovation is there in every organization, at every workspace, at every nook and corner, innovation is being the buzzword. When the world is changing around us so fast, we need to keep ourselves updated. This is the basic necessity. This is the basic requirement of learning and development. This is why learning and development gets warranted or gets the primary importance. Let's understand it in a deeper fashion. When you look into the technological advancements specifically, skills that were relevant a decade ago may no longer suffice in today's competitive environment. So when you're talking about the changing world, you have the issues with respect to the personal growth, professional growth, etc. The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace. All these aspects, including artificial intelligence, for instance, is transforming jobs across various sectors, making some traditional skills totally obsolete. And this this warrants a demand for new expertise. So skills that were relevant a decade ago may no longer suffice in today's competitive environment. So continuous learning has become a necessity rather than an option. So previously it was just like a add-on. You could have continuous learning. You are a learning individual. That is good for your CV. But now it is more than option. It is a necessity. When you look into why this learning and development actually matters, we have to understand it from the personal growth angle. When individuals engage in learning, it extends beyond their professional aspirations. It plays a pivotal role in the personal development also. So they enhance, once individuals get into the learning groove, they enhance their confidence, their creativity and problem solving ability. So every effort to acquire new knowledge represents an investment in oneself, and that would be the best investment anybody can make. Fostering a growth-oriented mindset that contributes to both personal fulfillment and overall well-being specifically. Now, when you talk about personal growth, you also have to acknowledge the existence and the enhancement of professional growth. In the workplace, if you ask me, learning and development serve as key drivers of career advancement. Research indicates that employees who actively pursue learning opportunities are more likely to receive promotions, excel in their roles, and even experience greater job satisfaction. So leading organizations such as Google and Amazon prioritize this continuous learning, encouraging employees to acquire new skills. So this culture typically of learning no doubt fosters innovation, it improves productivity and ultimately contributes to long-term success of both the individuals and the business as such. So this is why I will say that lifelong learning should evolve as a mindset. Learning is not confined to formal education. Please note, It's a lifelong commitment to curiosity. It's a lifelong commitment to self-improvement. Whether it involves mastering a new language or developing a creative hobby or staying informed about industry trends, every single learning experience, please note, adds value to you. So those who embrace lifelong learning demonstrates resilience and adaptability, ensuring that they remain relevant and prepared for the future in an ever-changing world altogether. So these are the necessity, or these are some of the typical aspects which underscore importance of learning and development. Now let's look into the benefits the L&D vertical will have for its employees. Now, typically there has been many discussions, there has been many research that is going through with respect to learning and development in terms of technological advancements and all. But please note, when you are looking into learning and development, it has certain categorical benefits, and that is what makes it more relevant, especially when you talk about skill enhancement. When you are working in a trade, when you are working in a particular machine, or when you are in a factory, or when you are with a technological interface, all these things get updated every now and then. How can you adapt towards the changing trends? How can you adapt towards the changing technology? How can you adapt towards the changing demands? This is possible only through learning and development, and that's why skill enhancement and development unequivocally happens to be a benefit for employees. Similarly, career advancement. Once you have skill advancement, you have skill enhancement and development, you are better skilled, you are a person who can eye for or look in for a better job prospects or better job opportunity, then you are the person who is advancing in the career. Let's look into that in a more empirical way. When you talk about skill enhancement and development, particularly, learning and development programs specifically provide employees with the tools, knowledge and skills they need to perform their roles effectively and adapt to evolving industry needs, as I mentioned. So employees become more competent, they become more efficient and capable of handling complex tasks, which directly benefits the organization. Example, a marketing professional might learn about AI-driven analytic tools to stay ahead in the data-driven industry. Or when you talk about another benefit of career advancement, you see that when organizations invest in employee development, they signal a commitment to their growth, which can lead to promotions and career progression. So employees feel valued and are more likely to stay loyal to the organization, reducing turnover. So an employee who completes a leadership training program may be considered for a managerial role. Then you have increased confidence and motivation. Please note, when you are a learned individual in the room itself, you have increased confidence and motivation, and this carries forward. So training programs empower employees by boosting their confidence in their abilities and motivating them to take on new challenges. So confident employees are more proactive, they are more innovative and engaged in their work. So if I have to take an example, I'll take an example of a salesperson who undergoes negotiation training may feel more confident in closing the deals. Another significant benefit would be improved job satisfaction. Employees who feel they are growing and learning are more satisfied with their jobs. Higher job satisfaction leads to increased engagement and productivity. So a software developer, for example, who learns a new programming language may feel more fulfilled and challenged at the same point in time. Another significant benefit would be personalized learning. With the advent of AI, we have already touched upon the way learning is changing, especially personalized learning factor. Tailored L&D programs address individual employee needs and career aspirations, making learning more relevant and impactful. So personalized learning ensures employees develop skills that align with the goals and the organization needs. For example, an employee who is interested in data science might be offered specialized courses in machine learning. So that will enhance his idea and it will not waste his time otherwise having a very personalized or specialized learning plan. Now let's look into what are the benefits that L&D, learning and development, brings for organization. Having discussed the benefits at an individual level, when we move to the organization level, we have to acknowledge that there will be an enhanced performance. When I'm talking about enhanced performance, you should understand that a well-trained workforce is more productive, it's more efficient and capable of delivering high quality results. So improved performance typically leads to better business outcomes such as increased revenue and customer satisfaction altogether. Let's, for example, to calculate the ROI, organizations often use metrics like productivity gains or reduced turnovers or increased revenue. So we'll take an example of IBM here. IBM reported that every dollar invested in the employee training resulted in a $30 increase in the productivity. See, this is a direct correlation between L&D and business performance. So this is what you understand by enhanced performance, a benefit for the organization. Another such significant benefit would be increased innovation. When you talk about innovation, a culture of continuous learning encourages employees to think creatively and come up with new ideas. So typically, if you ask me, innovation drives competitive advantage and helps organizations stay ahead in the market. So when you look into fostering innovation through learning, let's take a research study by McKinsey and Company, which highlights that organizations with a strong learning culture, I'll try to underline this, learning culture, are 92% more likely to innovate and develop new products or services. An example typically could be Google offering employees access to thousands of courses through its Grow with Google program. I hope you would have heard about this, fostering innovation and employee growth altogether. Another significant benefit for the organization would be improved employee retention and attracting top talent. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please note, employees who feel supported in their development are less likely to leave the organization. I repeat, employees who feel supported in their development are less likely to leave the organization. So a robust L&D program typically makes an organization more attractive to high-performing candidates. So reduced turnover saves costs associated with hiring and training of new employees. When you look into the talent attraction and retention, according to this LinkedIn's 2022 Workplace Learning Report, 94% of the employees say they would stay longer in the company than invest in their career development. So this highlights how L&D contributes to employee loyalty and reduces turnover, giving organizations a competitive edge altogether. Then we have the stronger workplace culture as yet another benefit for organization concerning learning and development. Please note, investing in learning and development fosters a positive, a supportive and a collaborative work environment. So a strong culture typically enhances employee morale and teamwork, leading to better organizational performance. So when you take an example of regular team building workshops and leadership training, it can actually improve the communication and trust among the employees. When we talk about organization, we should not forget about the competitive advantage learning and development brings to the organization per se. Organizations that prioritize L&D, learning and development, are better equipped to adapt to changes in the market and industry. If you ask me, agility and adaptability ensure long-term success in a competitive landscape. Let's have a quick look into this case study. Amazon's Upskilling 2025 initiative aims to train almost 300,000 employees in high-demand skills like cloud computing or machine learning. So by investing in its workforce, Amazon ensures it remains a leader in technology and innovation and maintaining its competitive position in the market altogether. So competitive advantage, there can be many examples. I wanted to give one recent live case study with respect to the benefits for organizations, specifically the competitive advantage. When you talk about the benefits, you have to also underscore the improved customer satisfaction. Well-trained employees are better equipped to meet customer needs and deliver exceptional service. Happy customers lead to increased loyalty and revenue. So, as an example, if I want to, point out, you look into a hospitality company that trains its staff in customer service excellence will likely receive positive reviews and repeat businesses. So this is yet again another benefit. Mitigation of risk is also a benefit for organizations. You talk about addressing skill gaps and ensuring employees are up to date on industry with best practices reduces actually the risk of errors and compliance issues. So, risk mitigation typically protects the organization's reputation and the bottom line. I hope you know what I specify by top line and bottom line. Risk mitigation typically protects the organization's reputation and bottom line. An example at the mitigation of risk would be a financial institution that trains its employees on regulatory changes can avoid costly fines typically. Then another significant benefit would be the development of future leaders. You are looking at a hierarchy, you are looking at a transition. L&D programs help identify and nurture high potential employees for leadership roles. So, if you ask me, a strong leadership pipeline ensures that the organization's long-term success, longevity and stability is maintained. An example could be leadership development programs at organizations or companies like General Electric have produced many of its top executives altogether. And to finally conclude the benefits part for the organization, we look into organizational agility. Agility is through continuous learning. So, learning and development plays a significant role, a crucial role in building organizational agility by preparing employees to adapt to change and embrace new ways of working. So, when you are talking about agility through continuous learning, a study by Deloitte found that organizations with a strong focus on continuous learning are 46% more likely to be first to market with new products and services. So, learning and development, if you ask me, programs related to L&D emphasize upskilling, emphasizes reskilling, ensure that employees are equipped to handle disruption and seize the opportunities. So, my attempt here was to underscore the relevance of what we know as learning and development today. We have tried to define learning and development in the first module. We have tried to understand the nuances associated with the term, with the construct. Now, in this particular module, I am trying to underscore the relevance of learning and development, and the best way to start with that was to underscore the benefits, and not only to the organization but also to the individual. So, in this session we have tried to underline the benefits specifically that learning and development would bring to individual and to the organizations per se. We have listed down a lot of such benefits, and this is what makes learning and development an interesting vertical in the industry. We will come up with more details of learning and development in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.